The Diamondbacks dropped the finale of the three-game series against the Washington Nationals by the score of 4-3. I'm Michael McDermott from the AZ Snake Pit, and game number 95 for the Diamondbacks unfortunately followed the typical refrain for the Diamondbacks masterclass in how to blow a winnable ball game, whether it's to win a series or to sweep a series. So they will take 2 of 3 against the Washington Nationals, although certainly disappointing how that final game went. Early on, Corbin Martin got the start on Sunday, so it was like, okay, let's see what he can do. And I was not impressed by the way he pitched today. Well, let's say, well, 1 run in 4 innings, that's not bad. Well, if you look at just the box score, sure, 1 run in 4 innings is good. But that's not how good he pitched. That's not an accurate reflection of how well he pitched. It was terrible. And if you're a Diamondbacks team that's been more or less in a soft rebuild, they're just not calling it that, and they're not doing what they need to do to execute the rebuild. You need to make sure guys are learning how to play at this level, and it feels like the team regresses. I have a chance to do that kind of thing, and I hate the cliche. This team doesn't know how to win, but they don't know how to win. That's the look on Torrey's, and that was the look on Torey Lovell's face post-game press conference. I actually felt bad for him watching him go through it. I'm not supposed to feel bad for him, but I do. Going my way back to Martin, 1 run, 4 innings, but he had 5 walks in the game, and there were a lot of ugly at bats. Obviously, the Juan Soto didn't throw him a single pitch in the strike zone, walked him on 8 pitches twice. And things nearly blew up in that 3rd inning. Robles ended up getting on, stole second, I believe. Got the second base, and then was thrown out, attempted to steal 3rd. And it was a bang play at 3rd. It would have been a call stand situation no matter what happened. The umpire called him out. And on the replay, the first replay looked like he bit the tag, but when you look at it closely over the bag, his left hand comes off the bag around the time of the tag. It was pretty close, so the Nationals elected to just not risk the challenge at that point, which ended up paying off for them in a weird way. So then Robles got out, but then Martin ended up loading the bases on walks for getting Yadiel Hernandez to ground out to first base, close out the inning. It was like I said, it was at the point I had noted, if you see in the game day thread, I said if Martin didn't get Hernandez out in that situation, this was going to be a 5-6 run inning. They were going to have to get him out of there. So get him out of there. Somehow he walks away with a 0 in the inning, but not because of his own pitching abilities. So that's something he'll have to improve in his next start. So after Martin took care of the 3rd inning, the Diamondbacks took a 3-1 lead. Josh Rojas, who has been in a small sample size very good, 2 outs, runners in scoring position. The clutch, that Rojas has good numbers overall. And it just validates what I've seen over the season. That Rojas seems to know when it's time to get a single with a runner in scoring position. I think that's something you don't see very often in this team. And for the guys that are playing well, we give them the credit they deserve. So then after they took a 3-1 lead, they had it in there. Corbin Martin gives up a run in the 3rd. Oh wait, no, they had a 3-1 lead. Corbin Martin gave up a run in the 3rd. Wait, was it it was either the 3rd or the 4th. No, he gave up a run in the 4th. 2 rockets off the bat. One of them, it looked like Varsho was going to close on it, but just didn't have enough juice to get to it. And not really his fault. That ball was squared up. And then Martin gave up another ringing single to right field that scored the only run he gave up of the game, and ended up just giving up that. But very lucky just to get that 1 run. It was bad enough that they're not committing to him to the next start. But in my opinion, if you're not bringing up Tommy Henry, then who else deserves a chance? Obviously, for those that want to see Tommy Henry get his chance, I agree. But that's not my call. But we may see that soon. He's on my list of 5 players that they should call up. You'll want to check out that article in the Snake Pit before it gets buried tomorrow. Buried on Monday, Tuesday. By Tuesday. So after that, they bring in the bullpen. First guy out of the bullpen, Kyle Nelson. Great inning. I love the way he's pitched this year. Another great inning. for the fact that the Daybacks forgot how to throw strikes to Juan Soto. He attacked him. He made Soto look bad, froze him on a slider for strike 3, 1-2-3 inning. That was the best inning the bullpen had. So then after Nelson, they go 6th inning. I don't remember who pitched. The 6th inning, the 6th or 8th innings were kind of blurred. The 6th inning was kind of blurred for me. The D-backs, Nationals ended up scratching a run because 3 defenders forgot how to play. 3 defenders had really bad plays on the same time. Only one of them got an error. So then after a base hit, ground ball to third base, Rojas makes this nice diving stop. He tries to make a throw to first base, and it just took a weird bounce. It took a weird bounce, and it just took off towards right field. And then Walker should have vacated the bag to prevent the ball from getting into the outfield. That was a mistake on Walker's part. I think he was trying too hard to scoop it instead of just, okay, this is something that the D-backs missed without Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie would have come off the bag to ensure that there were no extra bases taken. It's like, so, poor decision by Walker on there, and then Dalton Varsho was caught watching the play, unfortunately. I don't know if Ketel Marte was there backing up the throw or not either. But because basically everyone on the right side of the field didn't do their job, it ended up being a 3-base error and a run scoring. And that's the type of play, if you're a manager, you're just... And you can see why, and it's kind of the reason why you saw Torrey look defeated in the post-game presser. It's like, I can't get this team to play like they should, kind of thing. And they just shot themselves in the foot, and it felt like the momentum just flipped right there. Went from potential great play to disaster. That was the turning point of the game, of course. Jose Herrera and his great catching manages to limit the damage to 1 run because Jose Herrera is great at catching. And I don't mean this as a hint of sarcasm. He knows what he's doing on the field, you can't say the same for everyone else. And then Herrera picks off the runner at third base on a failed bunt. And it's like, that guy definitely knows to pick up his team. I just wish he could hit. He would be my favorite player if he could hit on the team, if he could hit. And that's a confession I'll make. I love the way he catches. He runs the game back there. So then after Herrera saved literally the entire team's butt that inning, the Diamondbacks 7th just never tacked on any runs, and we'll get into that later. But after the 6th inning, which in my opinion should have been an unearned run, the 7th inning, Ian Kennedy comes in, and unfortunately April Kennedy showed up. And I think part of the problem for Kennedy is also that blood clot's velocity was down. I noticed that on Friday. It was 91, 92 this game. And if Kennedy's only throwing 91 and 92, he ain't doing too good. Because he's got 1.5 pitches at best if you think he's actually learned how to throw a good changeup. Kennedy looks like he's about to, despite the fact that Kennedy gets lit up and somehow puts up zeros, he looked like he was going to do the same act again, but then Josh Bell hammers the ball down the right field line. The umpire, it took a weird hop off the wall, so the umpire assumed it hit the pole above the fence. It did not. It just bounced straight up. It kind of just bounced almost straight up and then back towards the seats. It ended up moving that way, so they ruled it a ground rule double. It never left the field of play. So field of play, the runner was in motion. So after the challenge by Washington, the umpires awarded a run to the national challenge. They were awarded a run on the Bell double. So blown save for Kennedy. If you ever go into the Snake Pit thread, I posted, as soon as they overturned the call, I posted a GIF of a nuclear explosion with the caption being his trade value. I like to throw some snark every now and then, and this was deserved. So then after Kennedy's blown save, we go to the eighth inning. And the Diamondbacks blow another scoring opportunity. 8th inning, Joe Mantiply comes in, and Mantiply's had a string of sloppy outings, and that continued today. Couple base hits, a run scored. D-backs now 4-3. 3 in the game, but they did have their chance in the bottom half of the inning. So I'd still think, like I said, Mantiply I think is still the D-backs' best trade chip. Unfortunately, in a good or bad way. I don't think you're trading Marte. You don't sign a guy to a 5-year deal and then trade him the next summer. That's just not how you run a baseball team. That's also why I think Merrill Kelly is also not on the trade block during the season, because you give a native, basically a native son 2-year contract, and then you trade him. That's going to piss everybody off, especially since he's been their best pitcher to this point, might add. So going back to the game, bottom of the 8th inning, first 3 reach, great at bats all around. I was impressed. Jake McCarthy, ring single up the box. I think, like I said, my trade Peralta stance is not because I think Peralta sucks. My trade Peralta stance is because I want that guy. I want Jake McCarthy playing every day if they can do that. Why? Because let's just face it, Jake McCarthy impresses me more than Pavin Smith. I'm sorry, Mike, but that's what it is. Sorry, Mr. Hazen. That's what I see. I'm gonna say what I see. Yeah, I want to see McCarthy get the last 2 months of the season as a starting outfielder. Just there. And then new outfield lineman. I like the Varsho, Thomas, McCarthy outfield. In my opinion, I think that's their best 3 outfield alignment with those 3. Then, all right, so the McCarthy single, and the next batter was Josh Rojas. I can't remember if he got a hit, but he also got on base. I can't remember if it was via hit or a walk, but yeah, Rojas got on. I think it was a walk. Yeah, it was a walk. And then Thomas got hit in the back knee with a slider to load the bases. So now it's like prime opportunity. You got your middle of the order coming up. The base is full, nobody out. And 2 of the worst bats of the season follow. So then Ketel Marte jumps ahead in the count 2-1, gets a fastball to hit, and he pops it straight up. And at that point, it's like, they're not going to score. Christian Walker's going to ground into a double play, which he did. You knew Walker was going to ground into it. At that point, I knew Walker was going to hit into a soul-crushing double play because that's what he does. Obviously, he has the big home run numbers, but there are situations where you don't need to hit a fucking home run. I'm sorry for the F word, by the way. Don't need a home run. A single will do. That's something Josh Rojas understands, but Christian Walker does not understand. It's like, and that's kind of the context. It's just knowing the situation kind of thing. That there are some guys that think Christian Walker's probably got it drilled in his head. He's got to hit home runs to be successful, which I disagree. I think Walker needs to be a masher, but not rely exclusively on the home run ball to be a successful hitter, but you can't really bring that one back. So after Walker's double play, it never felt like the Diamondbacks were coming back in this game, despite Mark Melancon doing the high rope act for a 0. I was impressed that he somehow didn't blow it, even though this is obviously the type of game that he does. So after Melancon somehow sucked and didn't blow the game outright, Diamondbacks have 3 not so great at bats, and with the middle of the order, bottom of the order, didn't put up much of a fight against Finnegan. It was kind of sad. Peralta obviously squared one up, but hit it to the wrong part of the ballpark in the first out, and then pop flies. I think 2 pop fly outs after that. So not much going there. So it's just the same boring script for the final game of a series. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, Torrey's press conference, he just looked like he just gave up. It's like, I don't want to indict Lavelle. Obviously, I don't think he's given up, but he's at his wit's end. And I really feel bad for him because he's managing an absolutely awful baseball team right now. So anyway, the Diamondbacks will host a series at home at Chase Field against the San Francisco Giants. Tyler Gilbert will pitch the first game against the Giants at 6:40 p.m. tomorrow. So you'll want to catch that. I still think there isn't much gap between the Diamondbacks and the Giants this year. It's just a matter of the Giants are just better baseball IQ is really the difference, in my opinion. Talent-wise, they're pretty close. But anyway, we'll see how that game goes. Hopefully, they start winning series because I don't really care about draft position this year. It's not going to be prime. So, try to win as many games as you can.